Do.
I don't have much enthusiasm over.
No, I
You
I
seem to
can
be
I
seem
can
to be drowsy, buddy.
I can hold on. I can energize myself. I just gotta.
Uh, more, I think.
That scares you more.
Yeah,
Is it
don't energize
energize me?
yourself over there. You'll go blind, bud. Glasses are already thick enough. Quit energizing yourself.
You know what? That sounds. Never mind.
We got a story.
Yes, we
Well,
do.
we've been telling everybody else's story. Do that.
Okay,
We
what's
like
our
that.
story? What's our story?
What's our story? Like we're not in it together. You're gonna
I.
lose the way. What's our
What's
story?
our story?
Well, so
Let's get ready to
I've
tell it.
got the farm report up.
The farm report. Flashback. Blast from the past.
Well, that God, we've been trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, in a way that isn't, we're a little less than normal.
Yep.
We've told some jokes, fought,
Yup.
told some more jokes.
Yup.
You
Bought some
know,
more.
yeah. Been to some mindfulness classes.
Found our centers.
Yeah. Did that. But who would have thought standing around a fire July or August of last year, whatever.
Hmm.
I don't keep track of dates.
Right.
Talking about dream, I
This.
guess of mine, but of yours. I mean, because it was that we were both talking about music.
Yeah.
People warned you that I was obviously starting a cult.
Well, no, I don't need to have come up with the idea to be able to say that it's a really good idea and that I believe in it as well. And that I would say
What
that
idea?
I this idea, this
Screw
whole
you and
thing,
your
this
what
whole
our
well, I'm
story.
saying,
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
saying,
I'm
I'm
listening.
saying, I don't need to have had come up with the idea to be able to like recognize that it's an amazing idea. It's an amazing
What?
idea, which is that people can talk to each other and grow more connected. It's it's fundamental. It's how humans get more connected is speaking and conversating and communicating and making music and telling stories. It's the
Like from
way
a
that
real place though. It
from a
has to
real place,
be. Yeah.
from a genuine effort to express yourself. It's it's an amazing idea because it's kind of simple when you think about it
It
because
feels very like it constantly feels to me like I'm trying to explain something that should be self-evident.
well, you sit around the fire and you tell stories. That's how your community gets becomes community.
Right?
It you
You
grow up or
gather.
you grow
You
up with
see each other.
exactly the people you grow up around and the people you're around. That's your community. That's but I think that this is almost an attempt to do more than that. No.
Yeah. Well, it feels like the world's at my front porch now. Why I don't have to just reach when I talk about reaching to my next door neighbor. We spent an hour on the phone with Kenya.
Yep.
Dear Lord, we only got 5 questions done in Australia because God, Grant and I got
Because it was
we
such a
we talked
conversation,
rugby, we talked
dude. We
finances,
talked
we
everything. We
talked
talked life.
life, marriage,
Yeah.
children. Wow.
We talked it all.
Yeah.
And in-depth conversation too. It's not just like surface level. It's we feel things and we want to express that we feel things and we want
I
to
want to hear what
sometimes
so
when you're
the next step.
mhm.
Ross ends up needing a place to stay, and I go, okay. What do you think when I look at you and go, sure, why don't you just come move in over here?
I was like, all right, cool.
Well, you were kind of twixt between for a minute.
Well, I was
You were digging for your best offer.
I was I had several couches to look at and I ran
I
the
had
numbers.
several couches. He spent every minute at every couch
I
just checking
spent
the medicine cabinet to decide where he should stay. That's all. No,
no.
no, I'm teasing.
No, I got
I'm
you.
joking,
I got you.
Mom. I'm
No.
joking.
No, I looked around, I looked at my options and I picked this one because I figured it was the most
So
stable.
as so in the final episode, you gave me the rose. Oh, thank you. I feel
Yeah,
so
you gave. Yeah, I
chosen.
gave you the rose. Yeah,
Oh God, I've
yeah.
gotten to live with you. I feel so fortunate. Forever unclean. No, I'm just
Until about a week later, when we discover that people that live with each other don't generally like each other.
no,
Sometimes,
except
sometimes
you know what? We've done an amazing. That's not an easy thing.
it's not.
It's not easy for family to work together. And I've done that with Sean. I've tried doing that.
Hmm.
And I've done it quote unquote successfully. But it's not easy spending that much time with somebody.
I think it helps that we're not blood related, but I also, but I also think that doesn't matter.
Gee, thanks.
I also think that doesn't matter because living with someone, you become like family in a way that's very different.
Well, and
Like,
it's always it's been really important to me that you always knew that that wasn't a piece that was connected or at risk or something.
yeah,
That we connected in the sense of, no, no, I saw you.
right.
And Sean wanted somebody to feed. I'd quit eating meat. Dear God, she loves cooking for you. That Bentley and I are crank butts. Bentley only has this that he wants to eat, and I'm like, rice. And Ross is like, nah, yeah, man, another pork chop. Throw that on there. Yeah, that's good.
Tell you what, if my stomach was bigger, man, I'd be killing the fridge I'd be hitting it up like a bank robber.
That's
Just
why I need people to stop in here regularly.
yes.
They need to eat the leftovers that she's making. I love you,
She's
and there's
making at a
nothing
rate that I can't eat. I'm sorry.
I can't.
I wish I could.
Well, that I don't eat that stuff.
Right.
So,
Well, I'll tell you what.
so
It's
okay.
what?
So you move in,
Yes, that's what happened.
and there's a 300-gallon pond in your room,
Yeah, that was kind of different. That was a little different. It's something new.
and there's a tortoise over on the other corner.
Yup. I'm surrounded by animals. It's a bit
It's a
odd.
is that okay?
It's a bit
So
different.
cats everywhere. Fish everywhere. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, and I was stepping on it. Kill the cord. Come on, I knew my phone needed charged. I hope it didn't do that all the way through. Did it? Did it just happen when my foot hit it? Yeah, my foot hit it. And okay, so here's an end of this story that you've heard now, but I didn't just ask you. I had to talk to Bentley and Sean
Yeah.
that and go, hey,
Generally speaking, if you're gonna invite another
well,
person to the house, you talk to already in the
and that I've got a lot of respect for the 9-year-old,
right.
then just 9-year-old, and he was like, yes, now,
He's like as soon as
and
possible.
Sean was like, no, yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. Makes sense. Anybody out there? There was
I'll tell you what, it made no sense from my end because every time I found myself explaining our situation, I could feel like this this weird energy that was like, okay, I don't think you understand how weird this situation is. Like that's the vibe I would always get. And I'm like, no, I get it. It's weird,
but it's not.
but it's not though. Like
It sounds weird,
it's
but
not
it's
as
not.
weird as you
It's
think.
you know what? That especially this month, we spent every moment in here in our office. I don't know if you guys know this. We basically,
We
obviously,
live
we
here.
live here, but we
Yeah.
live here. Um, but we didn't know where we were going. You were working on music. I was up the
You're
book.
finishing up the book, yeah.
I was finishing up the book.
And also you had a blog too.
I have a blog.
Yeah.
I haven't written on my blog in a while.
Yeah, but you were pretty active on there
I was. I was. I
when
had.
when I first moved.
I had some people that were Interest. It was the first person that got me. Sorry,
Now
even
you're good.
thinking about this. Sorry, was it way
I
off?
turned it up so
But
that I
there, is it
couldn't
better
hear
now?
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The first person that got me thinking about this was a person I ran into at in therapy. Somebody who was outside smoking that said she said she was really trying to find her voice, and she said she'd found this blog thing. And I said, you know what, I've tried to do that before, but I just haven't. But I had been doing a lot more writing.
Right.
Um, and that conversation started quarter of the way into the book. The book was just a journal at that point. Um, and I owe that person credit for where we've ended up. That the blog was the thought of, so it was the first step of that in the book, but a public voice.
Yeah.
'Cause it was a big step. That I was way too out there after group. I was
Right.
used to being in a very protected space. Like when you're in group therapy, it's like, you got somebody, you got a ringleader making sure nobody gets beat up.
Right.
Out there in the world,
Very different.
if you're putting out there, what, I'll help anybody.
You're pretty much your own ring.
No, the problem is though people will go, "Oh, cool. I can take some of that."
Right.
Um and you can get wrapped up in the way other people are feeling.
It's hard to find a balance between helping people and receiving help. I find that
Yeah.
it's even harder when you add in the fact that I don't even like to ask for help or none of that stuff. I don't like doing that generally. It's
Well,
even harder
and
once you add that in. You know?
it was a struggle coming into fall. You know what? That COVID numbers were rising. The community was kind of not as solid as we thought it was. That
Right.
things were just. We literally said, "Okay, we're gonna go lick our wounds, and we're gonna go get better at this.
Yep.
We'll
Pretty
see
much.
you." And we said the spring, or do we say January? Anyways, we I don't know. We got all gung ho. We were gonna do a ton of stuff.
We did some movies.
Well, and we had plans to do so much more
We
at
did.
Christmas, though. And
Yeah.
we've
We had a lot of ideas, and we weren't as good about executing them. I think uh, our second go round has been
well,
a lot more
I think
successful. January.
January 10th. That's our
January 10th.
birthday, folks. January 10th,
Yes, that's our official birthday.
2022. You know, we stick our pen in it and we go, yeah, I'm writing this on the calendar when we're going to do this 5 days a week.
Yep. Did it 5 days a week for 3 months.
4 or 5. We're
Four or
5 months
five.
in.
We're 4 or 5
We
months
did
in.
it 4
Yeah,
months.
because that was January. That was January. Yeah,
We did January
because
through
we're
April.
now on to June.
No, not yet. Almost.
Well, we're a couple days.
We got one last Where's the Line in May
Either
tomorrow.
two more days. No, one more day because
Then the first is
the
Wednesday.
31st.
It's funny watching you count while you're half asleep.
Calculator,
Well,
maybe.
so, and we struggled to find our voice. You struggled to find your voice.
Yeah, I don't like talking sometimes.
Well, that you were worried about what if I say the wrong thing?
Yes.
And then there becomes a thing in your head about how do I say the right thing?
Right.
And then Matt hits you over the head over and over again and goes, "No, stop thinking, just speak." No,
Well, now I just spit out whatever comes to mind, pretty much.
well, to some that, but I think we both needed to find our voice. I needed to get better at listening and speaking. That I'm working on it. Uh, but that, and I think a lot of our early supporters have pointed out that at first it felt like, where was Ross? That people would go, well, yeah, but Ross, and I'm like, no, you don't.
I'm more like a small burst type of like energetic. I need
Depends
like
on the day and who
I
we're
need like
interviewing.
small opportunities to like burst and then like it'll go and then then I'll just retreat for a little bit and then boom,
It
I'll
it
try and
depends.
hit it again.
It depends on the day and what we're doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're bored, no, yeah, I got bursts. Yeah, basically, if I'm lucky,
If I'm lucky.
I'm lucky.
Well, there are some that are zingers and some that are not.
Then there's Ross.
There's and then there and I can't say the word I want to say.
you
It's okay.
know, man,
What's up?
that would you say 87 shows?
87, yes. We've been doing this for 87 shows.
And everybody goes, well, most people never make it that long.
Exactly.
You didn't believe me. You didn't believe me. I said, no, we're going to stack content like lumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
God willing, and it breaks someday and somebody cares about watching us.
I was
Gosh, I
surprised. I
hope.
was surprised when someone told me they watched an older episode, and I was like, "Dude, you okay?
Well, so
All
what
right."
happens? So sometimes we'll get uncomfortable because we really do this. We do this with each other. We do it every day.
Yeah.
Not as much anymore. Actually, unless we're
We
doing
still do it
24
every
hours in a
day
row.
now. I would say,
Yeah, ish.
because we at least get an interview in.
That, wow. Okay, so a year ago, I was trying to figure out where to even stand in my world.
Mhm.
Like a year ago. I mean, by now I'm a little more level-headed by now. But and there was this epiphany. A combination of things. A First off, the things everybody was telling you they already knew, and why hadn't they told you before?
Right.
That the only reason you think you're alone is because nobody talks about it. And if you could just hear each other, you'd feel better.
Then I think we should talk more. I think maybe we should talk more and
It
express
doesn't.
ourselves and show ourselves a little bit. You know?
So you start off with the simple idea of what if people just kind of found out they weren't alone?
Mm.
Nowadays I talk about the idea of, you know what, we're here to hear the unheard stories. And when I talk about unheard stories, I'm not talking about just stories like anthems.
Mm.
I'm not talking,
You're talking about every.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you right out there
Yeah, you.
that we all put on masks. We're afraid to tell our story. And we began to think about the idea that I began to think that anxiety, as I know it all around me, is caused to a great extent by people feeling this desperate need to be seen, and people with this deep fear of being seen, afraid of judgment, and feeling constantly alone. That I even make the argument that there have been some horrific things happen in the United States over the last week. I even make the argument that that is a person in so much pain, so desperately to be seen, that they are at any cost. They don't they don't value their life at all, so they don't value any others.
I was. I've always been in a weird position because I've been able to relate to the people that lash out because it's very much a you feel like one no one hears you. You feel like when you try to speak up you're silenced. You feel like when try to express and try to get it out it's crushed. And that feeling makes you want to do some crazy things, man. And not everybody has the self-control to not do those.
Beyond that, Not everybody's properly medicated. We're human.
That's true.
We are a saucy little bag of chemicals, a little bit of
Yup.
Thor.
A
Anyways,
little bit of Abraham.
no, the Thor, it's electricity and chemicals,
Yeah.
goofball. No Abraham necessary. No Abraham required. Don't be cutting off your kids. But anyway, we're here because we think that the most powerful thing we can do, if what we think we want to do is change the world, can't be like, well, you can't change the world, you can only change yourself. And I agree. I don't, it's not that I don't get that. It's that I think the more people I connect with, the more people that feel seen, the more people we talk to, the more stories we bring, the more people then go out into the world and see more people and feel more seen. Because I think the devaluation of other people is a symptom.
Not the problem.
That I think the problem is we valued ourselves.
The challenge.
Me?
Challenges.
Me? Oh,
No, I'm saying challenge because remember earlier, I want to say Anthem said don't say problem, say challenges.
the challenge
The
is,
challenge is how do we get people to be heard?
and this is where we start. We take our little studio down here stuck in my basement, our basement, whatever way you want it, and take it like our spotlight and we point it up at the sky in the hopes that other spotlights will light up. And we'll actually talk about this.
Yeah.
That if we hear each other outside of these, you know what, social media has value, but if all you're hearing is people that say exactly what you do, I want you to know there are other people out there saying something different. Don't.
Yeah.
Ooh. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. For the record, if anybody's like, lately I've been accused of being a leftist. My sexual proclivities have been questioned. I haven't been called a rightist. I was told that I care too much about you. I have been, in general, cast all over the place. I don't care where or what you believe. If all you are hearing, all that you are hearing, is things that are the things that only agree with you, you need to find at least one more source. To some extent, that source should be one that's coming from inside the communities. You know, we got our up to date on Kenya today, California, and Australia.
Australia.
You know what? London calling.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break. You know, I just make noise. Or we want to hear you. Want to give. Want to give. Run a studio where the idea is, whether it's music or whether it's interviews, whether it's podcasts, if we're cutting through it, give honest experiences, honestly trying to figure it out. You know what? I may not ever see the shade of these trees. And if you see, dum 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 dum. You know, and that's part of our story. We're gonna get back to you and tell a little bit more of it along the way. Maybe even bring in some other people and see what they think.
Yes.
Be back in 20 minutes with Michael Anchors from London, England.